And now we're about to travel all the way to Saudi Arabia to hear about the blooming of entrepreneurship from Mr. Salman Gasim. He's a co-founder of CEA Ventures, and he's also an alumni of Hotel Institute Montreux. That's one of our sister schools. And good afternoon, Mr. Gasim. How are you today?
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me. Is my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
Does the sound clear? All is good?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Super. So I'm very pleased to be here today. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so excited by the previous speech as well. It was quite informative and very interesting, to be honest with you. And I was happy to see in the what do you call it, in the chat box, there were a lot of familiar names from the hello Mikhail, very good to see you here. And yes, I'm an alumni from SHMS. Initially I had the pleasure to meet many names here also. Miss Medico, I can see you in the chat box. We have one of our students from Saudi Arabia, Fatma. Pleasure to see you here as well, and a lot of beautiful people. So thank you for being here. I'll try to make it as short as possible because I'm very keen on the Q&A part to hear from you and to see how we can better benefit you from our previous experience and so on. So today we'll be talking about blooming in entrepreneurship hospitality industry. Allow me to share my screen. Please confirm if you can share, if you can see my screen. So what do you see? Do you see my actual screen, or do you see the screen that you're not supposed to see?
Yes, sir.
You're seeing the screen that you're not supposed to see. Why is that? Okay, let's see what we can do here. Give me a minute, please. Please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to prepare them already and to have them addressed. I'll be very, very keen and happy to address all your questions and inquiries. And I'll try to make this session as interactive as possible, because that's what we are all about here, is to really interact and to learn from one another and exchange ideas and experiences. So I will actually need you to interact through the chat box. If you're all aligned, give me please a thumbs up in the chat box, just like that. Voila, perfect. David is the first. Amazing. We have people are with us as well. Perfect, perfect. Okay, great. Can you see my screen very well? Yes, sir. Perfect. So blooming in hospitality, I would like to start by asking a question, or actually introducing myself. I wanted to skip this part, especially after I saw many names that are very familiar to me. I had the pleasure to study with or work with or interact with on various occasions in the previous times. But today I'm in a much better, in a very different state. Today, I am the CEO of Swiss Hospitality Company, which is a leading consulting and advisory firm here in Saudi Arabia that has the concept of merging between renowned Swiss hospitality standards together with very fine and profound Saudi hospitality values. Together we work with a lot of government agencies such as the Ministry of Tourism and some other ones, as well as with the PIF and some of its projects. Further to that, and as mentioned previously, I'm a graduate and an alumni of SHMS, and I have a Derby degree as well. I'm also a board member at the Saudi Swiss Business Council, which is the official business delegation from Saudi Arabia to Switzerland. I'm very pleased to not only be an alumni or Swiss educated, but I also contributed heavily into the economical and bilateral trade relationship between both countries. And for that, I was able to receive, to be one of the people who received the Swiss president just before the Corona hit, when he visited the king, His Majesty the King Salman here in Saudi Arabia at the King's Palace. Ever since we have been, directly contributing to this development between both countries. And so I had an entrepreneurial journey myself that actually started when I was in Co, and then it continued in Leza, and then post that in Geneva, and now here in Saudi Arabia. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. But let's get right into it. I would like to start with what is mindset, and please take a minute to answer this. And just tell me in the chat box, what do you think is mindset in your own words? What is mindset? And please, the two hosts, feel free to participate as well as you can. In your own words, what is mindset? Your personal way of thinking that reflects your values. Beautiful. Beautiful, Miss Medico. Very, very happy to see you here. It has been a long time. The way of thinking. Perfect. Great. So if you have any further ideas, don't hesitate to share them as we go down the line. The way you see life. Perfect. Manar, one of our students. Perfect. Very, very happy to see you here, Manar. So mindset, there is a famous quote says it's the established attitudes held by someone, right? Which is actually very much close to what has been shared in the chat box already. And one of the two important type of mindsets that we commonly face or deal with are the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And I would like to give you some very common sentences or phrases that are used, or perhaps descriptions that are used to describe a fixed mindset. And why are we doing here now? Before talking about entrepreneurship and telling you a little bit more about it, I want you to really, because entrepreneurship starts within yourselves. It starts within yourself, within your mind, and really how you see things and how you view things. So, and I sincerely believe if you are planning to start a business or to start a company, before you do anything, start with yourself and just look into yourself and to your mind. And do you have really that growth mindset or that more of the fixed mindset? And we're going to know that, in a bit. So some people, and if you're one of them, it's okay, but tell us or just think about it. If you see that fixed mindset views are talents that they say talents are traits, or they say brains plus talents equals success. So which makes it which limits success in their view. They think that only if you have brains and talents that equals success, otherwise you can never achieve success. Constructive criticism is a personal attack. A typical fixed mindset thinks like that. Whenever they receive constructive criticism, they think it's of a personal attack. Other successes due to luck. And I did actually face that myself. Some people thought that you became successful and you have a big company with 3 different offices and partnerships on a global scale and what's not, just because you got lucky. So I don't know how that is true, but that's a typical phrase of a fixed mindset view on what they would say. And a fixed mindset typically avoids challenges rather than faces challenges or deals with challenges. The other type of mindset that I would like to highlight upon and really wanting you to consider is the growth mindset. Growth mindset is basically believes ability can be developed through hard work. So, for example, at some point in my life, I couldn't be, let's say, a proper guest speaker, or I couldn't speak in public, or I couldn't, face an audience of a certain, a social level or anything of that sort. And I worked on that until I met the king, I met the crown prince, I met a lot of, ministers and princes and what's not, and VIPs and ambassadors, that today I feel extremely comfortable when I deal with any of them. So this is what a growth mindset is to believe that whatever it is, with hard work, you can actually develop it and you can achieve it. Brains or talents are only the beginning of success. They're not really the one and only, but it's really to start, with it's the sort of the thing that you can adopt in order to start building your success. We believe, people with growth mindset, they believe that long life learners, they are long life learners. We don't stop. We never stop. I never stop. I mean, I was blessed to have such a reputed degree from Swiss Hotel Management School and a dual degree from University of Derby. And I did my internship in two different phenomenal places. And I had a very great exposure, even though that I still learn until today. I get myself, I get myself into stuff that is that I have no clue about, or I have no idea of. For example, right now we're running through a massive digital transformation in the company, and I have no clue anything related to IT or technology or anything like that. Now I'm becoming more of an expert. So we believe in learning. We believe into every day it's an opportunity for you to learn something new. View failures as an opportunity to improve. That's very much correct. I have failed so many times in so many ways, in so many levels, that made me reach to where I am today, simply because I saw those failures as an opportunity to improve, or as an opportunity, or just as a feedback, and then we can convert that into a proper opportunity. So what kind of mindset do you have? Would you like to share that? If you would like, you would like to share that. And these are the typical, let's say, text that you would think of, or the type of dialogue you will have within your mind, that I can learn everything I want. When I'm frustrated, I persevere. I want to challenge myself. I want to fail. Are you more of that? Or are you more of I'm either good at it, or I'm not, I'm frustrated, I give up, I like to be challenged and stuff like that. I mean, it's not a problem if you are of one mindset or the other. What is important, or what is crucial today, is for you to be able to identify where do you stand. We believe, or I sincerely believe, is 50, knowing the exact issue is 50% of the solution. So if you know exactly where do you stand, you'll be able to, to be able to put a plan and see how you can grow from there. After classifying and defining mindsets, whether the fixed and the growth, and and we had different definitions by some of you that have tried and failed and gave up immediately without trying. What an advice you can give someone? I would love to answer your question, David, just after the few more slides. I don't have too many slides, but it's just, I'll be happy to address them soon. So entrepreneurs, the impact on economies worldwide. So the other thing that I wanted to tap on, so the first thing is, if you want to become an entrepreneur, start with yourself. Start with your mindset. Make sure that you have the right mindset for the journey that you are signing up for. And then secondly, the other important thing that I would like you to know, and I would like to shed the light on, is the impact of you starting a company on economies worldwide. It's such a global topic interest. Entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs and SMEs and small and medium-sized enterprises, etc. It's because it really resembles the majority of businesses globally. And businesses are important because they are basically who are creating economies, and very healthy economies. So I would like to give an example from my homeland, from Saudi Arabia, where I'm speaking from at the moment. Saudi Arabia, we're blessed by having such powerful and very visionary leaders, such as the king and the crown prince, where we have a vision, a country's vision, that is called Vision 2030. Vision 2030 that has, which is basically, Vision 2030 is more of a map. It's more of a guideline, a support system to everyone in the ecosystem in Saudi Arabia, to know how they can help, how they can contribute, how they can support the country's growth. And so entrepreneurs has massive role in Vision 2030 here in Saudi Arabia. Some of the important roles is to increase the small and medium-sized enterprise contribution to the GDP growth, which is the gross domestic product, from 20% to 35%. So when we say 20 to 35%, it's actually substantial, considering that Saudi Arabia's economy is considered among the 20 largest economies globally. So you can only imagine 30% of that is contributed, and that directly contributed by entrepreneurs and by SMEs locally. Also, the entrepreneurs has another sort of KPI by lowering the unemployment rate from 11% to 7% by 2030. And why is that designated to small and medium-sized enterprises? Because based on statistics, SMEs are the top recruiters globally. So actually being an entrepreneur and starting your own venture, you're not only helping yourself, you're not only helping or contributing to your loved one, but you are actually directly impacting the economy of the country that you're based in or your company is based in. And then that's another very fruitful objective that we have here in Saudi Arabia, is to increase women's participation in the workforce from 22% to 30%. And I sincerely believe we will surpass that number and that figure before 2030, simply because Saudi women has proven themselves in all domains. Today we have Saudi faculty members in Harvard. We have Saudi scientists at NASA. We have Saudi, I don't know if you can call them politicians, but we have Saudi female figures at the equivalent to the parliament here in Saudi Arabia, which is Shura Council. And we can see them already in so many major roles, such as the chairman of one of the biggest banks here in Saudi Arabia, and so many other roles. I'm actually proud to tell you that more than 50% of our company are females. So, and to tell you the truth, this did not happen by plan, but it really happened by them earning it. The way how it works in our company is that if you want to get an opportunity, you need to earn that opportunity. If you want to remain in the company, you need to earn that sustainability. If you want to grow in the company, you need to earn that promotion or that type of scalability. So women in our company has been, we have had so much successful stories with that, and we are very proud about it. And we're also even prouder that the government has set very clear objectives to including them into the overall economy. Saudi Arabia obviously has a very unique positioning globally. It is sort of the connector between Africa, Asia, and Europe. It's strategically located and fairly close to most major destinations within the region, and which you can reach in a very timely manner. Another question I wanted to ask then, so based on the information that I have mentioned, what do you think is an entrepreneur? What is an entrepreneur? In your own words, in your own definitions. David, I would love to hear your feedback. So David, Alice, Ms. Medico, if you're here, I would love to hear from you. What do you think is an entrepreneur in your own word? And for that, I have two different definitions, by the way. A business starter, yes. What is an entrepreneur? What does entrepreneurship means to you? Yes.
You're only an entrepreneur is someone who's willing to take risks and willing to learn about the business, and like I said before, willing to take risks.
Yes. So their own leader, business starter, someone who's willing to take risk. Great. All are accurate, actually. They all are correct. Someone that goes about building business from scratch, that's correct. And this is where we have, this is the, let's say the classic or the fundamental or the principal definition is an individual who undertakes the risk associated with creating, organizing, and owning a business, right? He makes ideas happen, very much on point. Innovative and always ahead of their business problems. Correct, Alice. So that's correct, but I have a quote that I believe describes entrepreneurs even better. And that is, so an entrepreneur is someone who jumps off a cliff and builds a plane on the way down. To me, this is extremely accurate considering the journey that I have been through. And simply because starting a business doesn't mean that you have a very solid business plan and all type of plans and studies and forecasts and you're just going to go by it. Entrepreneurship is about doing the preparation necessary. That's correct, but then a billion things will happen down the road and along the way. A lot of surprises, some good, many not so good surprises that you'll have to deal with and face with. And therefore, I think this quote actually really defines what does entrepreneurship actually mean, or what is an entrepreneur. And speaking of which, I would like to also highlight the top skills, that will be highly regarded or highly beneficial for an entrepreneur in the hospitality industry. So the key skills of an entrepreneur: number one is listening. How we interpret verbal and non-verbal messages sent by others. As you may know, more than 50% of our communication actually takes place, actually is a non-verbal communication. And what do we mean by non-verbal communication? We mean face expression, we mean tone of voice, we mean body language, hand gesture, and all of that. So it's very, very important to listen carefully, to consider the non-verbal before the verbal, and to really be able to be not only a good listener, but obviously a good communicator. So a good communicator, someone who can actually pass an information in an appropriate manner. The time is 5. Sorry for that. That's my laptop reminding me what time it is. Communication, it's also extremely important, because what you need to do is, once you're an entrepreneur and you're out there in the business, you need to have deals. You need to strike deals of all sorts. You need to sign a deal with your first employee. That's a deal, right? And then you need to sign a deal with your suppliers. That's definitely a deal, an important one. And then you have to definitely sign deals with your potential clients or leads. And that's the core deal that you want to be dealing with. So these two skills are very much fundamentals, and they're very much crucial. And I highly recommend all of you here that are considering entrepreneurship in your path, in your career path, or in your professional path, then to very much focus on those two and to excel at them. Number 3 is problem solving. Why is it so crucial? Because you're going to be dealing with a lot of problems down the road. No matter how prepared you are, no matter how well equipped, no matter how much support you receive from your parents or from your loved ones, problems will keep rising, and not necessarily problems. Maybe you can consider them more of a challenge and more of different levels of obstacles. But at the end of the day, you need to deal with them. You cannot really avoid. If you avoid them, or if you just keep them pending, they will only increase in time and in severity, and it will just not help no one. So problem solving skills and knowing how to deal with problems, how to stay calm, how to make the right decision, how to study the case properly before making any type of decision, etc. Speaking of decision making comes at number 4. Decision making is also very important, because being an entrepreneur, as some of you said in the chat box, you are a business owner, which means you will have to make all the decisions. If you have a partner, then your partner, that's fine, but then still you both, or 3 of you, or however many are you need to make the decision required. It's fairly different than working in an established organization, whereby certain decisions you'll have a certain level of authority that you can make decision upon based on your experience and based on your background, etc. But then being your own boss, you literally have to make a decision whether to hire someone or not, whether to sign this deal or not, whether to expand or not, whether to take this deal at this price or not. There's just so many decisions that needs to be made, and that's why decision-making capabilities are very important. And finally, negotiation. At the end of the day, no matter what type of deal you're trying to close, whether with an employee or with a supplier or with a partner or with an investor or with a client, you need to always assure that there is a win-win situation for both. If it's not win-win, if you're winning and they're not, it's an imbalanced and unhealthy relationship, and don't do that. Always have a win-win setup. I would like to end up my slides with a beautiful quote by Steve Jobs. Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. So if you see yourself and you're passionate about entrepreneurship and creating something that is really impactful, that solves a problem, that adds value, don't waste your time. Thank you so much.